You know what's fascinating? Right now, there are two people listening to this. One of them will take what they hear today and completely transform their life within the next 12 months. The other will nod along, feel inspired for about 48 hours, and then return to exactly where they are now. And the brutal truth is, it has nothing to do with intelligence, opportunity, or talent. It has everything to do with something far more subtle, something most personal development gurus won't tell you because it doesn't sound sexy or motivational. But if you stick with me for the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what separates these two people, and more importantly, how to make sure you're the one who actually changes. Let's start with a reality check that might sting a little. You've probably consumed dozens, maybe hundreds of hours of motivational content. You've watched the videos, read the books, listened to the podcasts. You've felt that surge of inspiration, that burning desire to finally become the person you know you're capable of being. And yet, here you are, still struggling with the same patterns, still falling short of your potential, still wondering why nothing seems to stick. But here's what you need to understand. The problem isn't the information. The problem is that nobody taught you how information actually becomes transformation. Think about the last time you heard a piece of advice that really resonated with you. Maybe it was about health, maybe relationships, maybe your career. You felt that emotional surge, that certainty that this was the insight you needed. What did you do with it? If you're like most people, you filed it away in your mental collection of things you should do someday. And that right there is the silent killer of potential. Because there's a law at work that most people don't know exists, and it's destroying their dreams one day at a time. It's called the Law of Diminishing Intent. Here's how it works. When you first encounter a powerful idea, your intention to act on it is at its peak. The emotion is strong, the vision is clear, and you genuinely believe you're going to follow through. But if you don't translate that intention into immediate action, something insidious begins to happen. Every hour that passes without action, your intent weakens. Every day that goes by, the idea becomes less compelling. Give it a month, and that burning desire is reduced to a faint memory. Give it a year, and you can't even remember what got you so excited. This is why your life looks the same year after year despite consuming endless content about change. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You want to plan things out, make sure you're doing it right, wait for the perfect moment. But that's not wisdom. That's fear disguised as prudence. When the emotion is high and the idea is powerful, that's precisely when you need to act. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things settle down. Right then, because discipline isn't about having perfect conditions. Discipline is about capturing the emotion before it escapes and translating it into something tangible. Let me give you a practical example. Someone talks to you about the importance of reading and personal growth. You feel inspired. You think to yourself, I really should build a library, I should read more. Here's the test. Do you get up right then and order your first book? Or do you let that feeling dissolve into the ether of good intentions? Because if you don't get that first book while the feeling is strong, you probably never will. And here's where it gets even more interesting. That small decision, that tiny moment of following through or not following through, has consequences that ripple far beyond just whether you read a book. This is the part that changed everything for me when I finally understood it. Every discipline affects every other discipline. Everything affects everything else. When you make the decision to take a walk around the block, even though you don't feel like it, you're not just exercising. You're building a neural pathway of self-trust. You're proving to yourself that you're someone who follows through. And that confidence bleeds into everything else. You take the walk, and suddenly it's easier to make the healthy food choice. You make the healthy food choice, and suddenly you have more energy to read that book. You read the book, and suddenly you have insights that improve your relationships. You improve your relationships, and suddenly opportunities start appearing that weren't there before. But the reverse is equally true. And this is the terrifying part. Every time you let yourself down in a small way, it erodes something deeper than just that specific goal. It erodes your sense of self-worth. When you know you should do something, when you know you could do something, and then you don't do it, you've just told yourself a story. And that story is that you're the kind of person who doesn't follow through. Do that enough times, and you don't need the world to defeat you. You'll defeat yourself. This is why the smallest disciplines matter more than you think. It's not really about the walk around the block. It's about what that walk represents. It's about building evidence for a new identity. Because here's something most people get backwards about change. They think you need to feel different before you can act different. They think motivation comes first, then action follows. But that's not how human psychology actually works. Action comes first, and the new identity follows. You don't act like the person you want to become because you feel like that person. You feel like that person because you've acted like that person. So let me ask you something. What's the smallest discipline you've been avoiding? What's that thing you know you should do, that you could do, but you keep putting off? Maybe it's drinking more water. Maybe it's going to bed 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's responding to that email you've been avoiding. Maybe it's just making your bed in the morning. Whatever it is, that's not just a task. That's a test. And you're either passing that test every day or failing it. Now here's where most people make a critical mistake. They try to overhaul everything at once. They decide they're going to wake up at 5, exercise for an hour, meditate, journal, eat perfectly, and be incredibly productive all starting Monday. And what happens? They might pull it off for a day or two, maybe even a week if they're really motivated. But then life happens. They miss one morning, then another, and suddenly they're back to zero, feeling like a failure, with even less confidence than before. The sustainable path is different. You pick one discipline, just one, the smallest one you can think of that aligns with who you want to become. And you guard that discipline like your life depends on it, because in a very real sense, it does. Not because that one discipline will transform everything, but because mastering one discipline teaches you that you're capable of mastering any discipline. And once you've established that first one, once it becomes automatic, you add another. And before you know it, you're not trying to be disciplined. You simply are disciplined. It's just who you are now. But there's something even deeper here that we need to address. Why do only about 10% of people who hear this kind of information actually do anything with it? It's one of the great mysteries of human behavior. The information is available to everyone. The steps are clear. It's not complicated. So why don't people follow through? Honestly, nobody knows for sure. Some do and some don't. Some will and some won't. And those numbers have been consistent throughout all of human history. But I'll tell you what I think. I think most people are waiting for permission they don't need and certainty they'll never have. They're waiting for someone to validate their dreams, to tell them it's okay to want more, to guarantee that their effort will pay off. And while they're waiting, years are passing. Life is happening. And that dream they're waiting to pursue someday keeps getting pushed further into a future that never quite arrives. So here's what you need to hear. You don't need anyone's approval to change your life. If you can see a possibility for yourself that others can't see, that's not a sign you're delusional. That's a sign it was given to you and not to them. Your job isn't to convince anyone else. Your job is to honor what you know is possible by taking action on it. Today. Right now, before the feeling passes and the idea grows dim. Because the truth is, there's something out there with your name on it. Some version of your life that's waiting for you to grow into it. And nobody can take that from you. It's yours. But it will only become real if you're willing to do the work that nobody sees. The early mornings when no one's watching. The small disciplines when no one would know if you skipped them. The high road when the low road would be so much easier. That's where your future is built. Not in the big, dramatic moments, but in the 1,000 tiny choices that nobody else will ever know about. So let me leave you with this. Whatever idea struck you while listening to this, whatever discipline came to mind, whatever action you've been putting off, you have a choice to make. You can let this be another piece of inspiration that fades into nothing. Another should have that joins the pile of regrets. Or you can capture this moment. You can take one action, right now, that moves you toward the person you know you're capable of becoming. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. And it has to be now. Because the distance between who you are and who you could be isn't measured in years or opportunities. It's measured in decisions. And the only decision that matters is the next one.